Many thanks for staying with us. Now, book author Mesindano Shaanika will be having a launch tonight at the MariGold Hotel that's right here in the capital city on the book entitled Teenage Pen Adventures. He now joins us in studio to share more on this book as well as to give us the details about tonight's launch. Mesindano, very good morning to you. Welcome to Good Morning Namibia.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing?
It's doing quite well.
Feeling excited?
Feeling excited. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Of course, I see you brought the copy of your book as well, the launch happening tonight. But before we get into the details of the launch, let's talk about Teenage Pen Adventures here.
Right. So Teenage Pen Adventures is not necessarily a book, but rather it's a poetry collection.
Fantastic.
Poetry collection that is, as someone of faith, it's faith-centered. So it's really a collection of, there's really a great undertone of Christian values, and the conversation surrounding the entire collection as a whole is based on faith as a result. Yeah.
Interesting title as well. Perhaps you could just expound on the title, the Teenage Pen Adventures here.
Teenage Pen Adventures.
Yeah.
Teenage Pen Adventures actually has nothing to do with the audience, but it's more to do with the author. Okay. So the title is just more a reflection of the time frame in which all of the poems were written. Yeah. So the latter stages of my teenage years.
Fantastic, fantastic. What pushed you to this approach, you know, to this collection of poems, you know, the title, Teenage Pen Adventures, etc., whereas, you know, your typical book, what happened? Yeah, maybe something happened that you want to tell us about here. Yeah.
Well, how it came to be was that during my gap year after high school, I did a gap year program, and I met someone there who was creative like me, and who I really bonded with, and I found out that they were interested in poetry. And I was someone who always knew I had the gift of writing, but I never really cared to explore it.
Yeah.
So when I found one of my friends that was just doing it for fun, I decided to join them. And I actually never, when I started writing, I never intended to actually release it to the public. It was really just about me being curious and just exploring my gifts, expressing myself. Yes. Yeah. So as I continued to write, I continued to just gather them together. And then people around me were saying, you know, especially my mom, it was pushing me to, you know, really bring it into a collection and perhaps think about releasing it to the public.
Very much.
Yeah.
Which piece stands out for you? Which is that one that really is closest to your heart, so to say?
Closest to my heart.
Yeah.
I think it's the first and the last. The first one because it was the very first poem that I wrote, which made it on the, which made it in the collection.
Yeah.
And the last one, which I think gives a great summary of really what the experience with Jesus is, what Christianity is really about. Fantastic. So I think the first and the last, and I didn't plan to order them that way, but I think it came out well.
And it's interesting because it also shows growth, you know, growth in your work. I think one would be able to see you from when you started and, you know, where you are today. And how would you describe, you know, your journey of writing, especially when it comes to poetry?
My journey of writing, well, like I mentioned before, it was really, I never had the intention of releasing anything publicly. So it was all just about me expressing myself, exploring my gift. And because I had that approach, I gave myself full liberty to express myself the way I felt like I could. So I wasn't too concerned with sticking to the boundaries or conforming really to the norm. It was just about me doing what felt right to me in terms of my own creative ability. Yes. So I think because I started that way, that's still kind of largely my approach. But it's just that now, because I do publicize my work a bit more. So there's a bit of consciousness that, you know, I try a bit more now to try to make my work make sense to the people reading it as well.
Because to you it can make sense. And, you know, that's where publishers, etc., come in. Who did you work with who really bring your thoughts, your expressions onto paper into such a well-structured, a well-formatted book here?
So a lot of the work was actually done by myself, but I'm privileged to have a few creative friends who are quite talented as well. Yes. One of the friends that I consulted regularly during just leading up to the actual launch of the book was one of my friends called Iman Dandi. She helped me a lot actually, and even the cover,
Yeah.
the cover page, I had no idea, but she, here you go.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to do, but you know, it's through connecting with other creative minds that I was able to come out with this piece. So.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Who would you say is this book for, or this collection of poems? Who would you say it speaks to you?
It's a beautiful question because I think that's, among other things, that's one of the bigger questions that I received. Is this book only for teenagers? Is it for whatever? But no, actually, as I alluded to before, it's really about, it's so the title is more just a reflection of the time frame in which it was written, but in terms of the book itself, in terms of the content, it can be for anyone, whether they're 15 or even 90 years old, because the things that I discuss in the book are you know, matters that really just pertain to the major questions that we talk about in life. Yes. So I address questions such as, you know, who am I? That's identity. What is life? Purpose. That's purpose, right? So I believe that they are kind of universal matters which everybody from all parts of the spectrum can really speak about. Yeah. You know, so for the younger person, yes, they can take inspiration and courage with from this like retrospective reflection of like somebody who has just gone out of their teenagers, and to help them to gain perspective of like, okay, I don't have to rush here, or I can really step on the gas here. Yeah. Whereas on the other side, for the older people, it can help them to kind of embrace life, to appreciate the stage that they're in, and they can then, I guess, with
it's sort of like a reflection for them. You know?
Reflection for them that will even help them to commit to living the rest of their years in a profitable way.
Exactly. And I love that you add the Christian element to it as well, especially as a young Christian yourself. How much of that, you know, sort of inspired the biblical teachings, you know, of the Bible, have sort of inspired your work here?
So what I would say is that the girl who I met, who inspired me to start writing, that's what inspired me to start writing. But I think what gave life to the book was my faith in Jesus. That's really what gave life to the book. Yes. It's I would say probably one of the biggest reasons, or the only reason why it's actually out now, is because of the faith element. I got to understand that. So okay, I'll put it like this. So everything really changed for me when I got a better understanding of the most famous Bible verse that says, "For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whoever believes in Him will not perish but have everlasting life." I came to the understanding that Jesus actually died for me. That although He died for the sins of the world, He calls each of us to have a personal, individual walk with Him.
Very much.
You know. Yeah.
And I love that you have certain pictures as well, you know, within the book. What do these mean? Perhaps this picture as well. Yeah.
It's I think that picture just speaks to. It relates to the quote that I mentioned before about the importance and the beauty of creative expression, and that's just a picture of me just playing around.
This doesn't look like Namibia, by the way. Is it Namibia?
It's South Africa.
It's South Africa,
but every picture that you find in the book kind of relates to, and it relates to the poem that it accompanies.
Very much. Fantastic. The launch is happening tonight. That is, of course, Teenage Pen Adventures at the MariGold Hotel. Please provide us with those details here.
MariGold Hotel, 6 p.m. For any who are under the sound of my voice, you can feel free to attend. Even if I don't know you, your presence will be welcome. Your presence will be appreciated. Yes. Final comments, right?
Yes, please. Yes.
Do get yourself a copy if you're interested. Only $130.
Where is it available?
Available. You can order it from us directly. So. Yeah, it can be made through orders through my Instagram page. Fantastic. Kale's, which is
right here at the bottom. Yeah, okay.
A company that can be found on Instagram as well. The Instagram handle, Kale's Studios, and orders can be made there directly. Fantastic. And so I encourage everybody who's willing order your book, attend the launch, and join the rest of the TPA squad in explaining to the world that the book is not for teenagers, but for people of all
Very
ages.
much indeed. Mesindano, thank you for being with us this morning. All the best. Congratulations, firstly, with putting. I really find bravery in that, to put your thoughts, your personal feelings, on paper, and you're willing to share that with the public in such a beautifully composed book. So congratulations to that, stepping out of your shell as well. You mentioned that these, of course, were a lot of personal poems for you only. Yeah. But I'm happy that you're sharing your talent, that you're sharing your thoughts with the public, and all the best with the launch tonight and, of course, for the future. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
There you have it. Author of Teenage Pen Adventures, Mesindano Shaanika, talking to us about that latest work of his. The launch taking place tonight, 6 p.m. at the MariGold Hotel. 130 gets you a copy. Reach out to them on social media. And, of course, do get yourself a copy. Now, our producer, Leah Thomas, compiled this following insert. Let's have a look.
Good morning, Namibia. Welcome to our Good Morning Show. Today, I'm going to be your host. My name is Michelle Hyangoro, and I'm going to be